Argentina, a land where passion meets untamed beauty. Despite its cosmopolitan facade, this South American giant hides a world of dramatic extremes. In this documentary, we'll journey through Argentina's most spectacular destinations, discovering both the vibrant rhythm of its cities and the silent majesty of its wilderness. But before we explore the most amazing places, I will also guide you through some fascinating facts about Argentina. Also, make sure to stay with me until the end to witness a colossal curtain of water that defies comprehension, plunging like 1,000 rivers into a misty abyss and painting the sky with eternal rainbows and thundering power. Fun facts about Argentina. Imagine Argentina, a country where glaciers grow, penguins gather by the thousands, and tango rhythms fill the street. Start in the vast south, where Patagonia's icy landscapes host the mighty Perito Moreno Glacier, one of the last advancing glaciers on Earth. Nearby, Magellanic penguins crowd the coast, and above, the Andean condor soars, a cultural symbol of power and freedom. In the Pampas, you'll meet the gauchos, Argentina's legendary horsemen, whose rugged independence mirrors the landscape. Their lives connect deeply to Argentine history, just as tango, born in Buenos Aires, captures the nation's spirit in every step. Argentina's treasures aren't just on the surface. From ancient rock art in Cueva de las Manos to Los Glaciares National Park, UNESCO sites reveal the depth of Argentina's story. Even in Antarctica, Argentina's early presence at scientific bases shows its adventurous reach to the ends of the earth. This land of silver, named from the myth of hidden mountains of Argentum, welcomes you not for riches, but for a wealth of culture, landscapes, and stories. The best places in Argentina. Fitz Roy Mountain. A granite peak rising 3,405 meters above sea level in Los Glaciares National Park in Patagonia. It stands as one of the most technically challenging mountains to climb in the world. The mountain, formed around 12 million years ago when magma solidified beneath the Earth's surface. Erosion gradually exposed the harder granite, creating its distinctive spire shape. The near vertical walls extend upward for more than 1,500 meters. The rock face is smooth due to glacial action, making it exceptionally difficult for climbers to find holds. Weather conditions are notoriously unstable, with winds reaching speeds of 150 kilometers per hour. The summit is often shrouded in clouds and experiences temperatures below -20 degrees Celsius. First conquered in 1952 by French alpinists Lionel Terray and Guido Magnone, only a handful of successful ascents occur each year. The indigenous Tehuelche people called it Chaltén, meaning smoking mountain, due to clouds that frequently form around its peak. Cafayate. A small city nestled in the Calchaquí valleys of northwestern Argentina, surrounded by dramatic red rock formations. Located 1,683 meters above sea level, It sits at the intersection of several rivers that have carved the landscape over millions of years. The region's unique geology created the Quebrada de las Conchas, where wind and water erosion shaped the sandstone into distinct formations. Las Ventanas and El Anfiteatro stand out, with natural acoustics that musicians often use for impromptu concerts. The area's high altitude, intense sunlight, and significant temperature variations between day and night create ideal conditions for wine production. Cafayate is particularly known for Torontés, a white wine grape that thrives in these conditions. The sandy soils and arid climate naturally protect the vines from diseases. Local vineyards, some dating back to the 1850s, are among the highest in the world, ranging from 1,700 to 3,000 meters above sea level. The town's colonial architecture remains well preserved, with its central plaza featuring a 19th century cathedral. Perito Moreno Glacier, a massive ice formation in Los Glaciares National Park, considered one of the world's few advancing glaciers. It spans 250 square kilometers and rises 74 meters above Lake Argentino. Unlike most glaciers that are retreating due to climate change, Perito Moreno remains in a state of equilibrium. The glacier moves forward at a rate of 2 meters per day, creating immense pressure against the Magallanes Peninsula. This pressure eventually forms an ice dam, blocking the southern arm of Lake Argentino. As water levels rise, they create enormous pressure beneath the ice barrier. This leads to spectacular ruptures every 4 to 5 years. The glacier's face is constantly active, with massive chunks of ice regularly breaking off in a process called calving. These ice falls can be as tall as 15-story buildings. The ice appears white on the surface due to air bubbles, but where it's compressed, it shows brilliant blue hues. This occurs because compressed ice absorbs all colors of the spectrum except blue. Salta and Jujuy. Salta and Jujuy are two provinces in Argentina's northwest, characterized by their high-altitude landscapes and pre-Hispanic heritage. The area was once part of the Inca Empire's southern territory, called Collasuyo. The landscape features the Andes Mountains to the west and the fertile Lerma Valley. In Salta, the train to the clouds climbs to 4,200 meters above sea level, making it one of the highest railways in the world. It crosses 29 bridges and 21 tunnels, following an engineering marvel from the 1930s. The Quebrada de Humahuaca in Jujuy extends for 155 meters, displaying rock formations in striking colors of red, purple, and green. These colors come from different mineral deposits laid down over 600 million years. Near Purmamarca stands the Hill of Seven Colors, where distinct geological layers create a natural rainbow effect. The layers formed in different periods, from marine sediments to lake and river deposits. In the Salinas Grandes salt flats, a vast white desert stretches for over 212 square kilometers. During the rainy season, A thin layer of water transforms the salt flat into a giant mirror. Peninsula Valdés. A unique landform extending into the Atlantic Ocean in Argentina's Patagonia region. This nature reserve hosts one of the most important breeding grounds for southern right whales. The peninsula is connected to the mainland by the Carlos Ameghino Isthmus, which is only 35 kilometers wide. Two gulfs border the peninsula, San Jose to the north and Nuevo to the south. The coast alternates between pebble beaches, sandy dunes, and imposing cliffs that can reach heights of 100 meters. What makes this place extraordinary is its marine wildlife calendar. Southern right whales arrive between June and December, approaching so closely to the shore that they can be observed from the cliffs. Sea lions and elephant seals occupy specific beaches year-round, with breeding seasons between December and March. Orcas in this region have developed a unique hunting technique. They deliberately beach themselves to catch sea lion pups near the shoreline. The peninsula's interior is dominated by arid Patagonian steppe, where guanacos, maras, and rayas roam freely. Bariloche. A city in northern Patagonia, situated within Nahuel Huapi National Park, Argentina's oldest national park. It sits at the foothills of the Andes, on the southern shore of Lake Nahuel Huapi, at an elevation of 900 meters above sea level. The surrounding landscape was sculpted by glaciers during the last ice age, creating deep lakes and valleys. The city's architecture reflects strong European influences, particularly German and Swiss, due to the significant immigration in the early 20th century. This is evident in its Alpine-style buildings and chocolate shops. The Cerro Catedral, rising 2,388 meters, serves as the largest ski center in South America. Its name comes from the granite spires at its peak, resembling a Gothic cathedral. The Circuito Chico, a 60-kilometer scenic route, winds through forests of coihue and cypress trees, offering views of lakes and mountains. Between the city and Cerro Catedral lies the Gutierrez Lake, known for its clarity and cold temperature, rarely exceeding 14 degrees Celsius even in summer. The local ecosystem includes unique species like the purú, South America's smallest deer, and the arayan tree, recognized by its cinnamon-colored bark. Ibera Wetlands. A vast network of marshlands in northeastern Argentina, spanning over 13,000 square kilometers, nearly the size of Kuwait. It consists of lagoons, swamps, and floating islands interconnected by channels. The name comes from the indigenous Guarani words Ibera, meaning bright waters. The wetlands formed thousands of years ago when the Paraná River changed its course, leaving behind a complex water system. Rainwater and underground aquifers maintain its water levels. The floating islands, called embalsados, are actually dense mats of vegetation that drift on the water's surface. These can be up to 3 meters thick and support the weight of large animals. The wetlands host remarkable biodiversity, including capybaras, caimans, marsh deer, and over 350 bird species. After decades of hunting drove species like jaguars and giant anteaters to local extinction, a massive rewilding project began in 2007. Through careful reintroduction, these species now roam the wetlands again. The area is dotted with traditional estancias, cattle ranches, converted into eco-lodges. Mendoza Province. Located in western Argentina, at the foot of the Andes Mountains, it's the heart of the country's wine industry. The region sits on an average altitude of 750 meters above sea level, with some vineyards reaching up to 1,500 meters. This combination of high altitude, low humidity, and over 300 days of sunshine creates perfect conditions for grape cultivation, particularly Malbec. The province contains Mount Aconcagua, the highest peak in both the Americas and Southern Hemisphere, reaching 6,962 meters. The mountain was formed by the subduction of the Nazca Plate beneath the South American Plate. The province's irrigation system, developed by the indigenous Huarpe people and later enhanced by Spanish colonizers, consists of channels that distribute melted snow from the Andes. These channels line the streets of Mendoza City, creating unique tree-lined boulevards called acequias. The region experiences frequent seismic activity due to its location along the Andes fault line. A devastating earthquake in 1861 led to the city's rebuilding with wider streets and numerous public squares, designed to serve as safe gathering points during earthquakes. Tierra del Fuego. The southernmost archipelago of South America, split between Argentina and Chile. A land of extremes, located where the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans meet. The name, meaning land of fire, comes from early European explorers who saw the natives' bonfires along the coast. The Argentine portion consists mainly of the eastern half of the largest island, Isla Grande. The landscape alternates between snow-capped mountains, dense forests, peat bogs, and windswept plains. The Cordillera Darwin, reaching heights of 2,500 meters, creates a natural barrier that influences weather patterns. The Beagle Channel, a strait separating the main island from smaller ones to the south, was carved by glaciers during the last ice age. Ushuaia, the capital, is the world's southernmost city. Its deepwater port serves as the main gateway to Antarctica, with research vessels and tourist ships departing regularly. The region hosts unique wildlife adapted to the subpolar conditions. Southern right whales visit the coastal waters seasonally. The area's forests feature lenga beech trees, which turn bright red in autumn. These trees grow slowly due to the harsh climate, taking hundreds of years to reach maturity. Puerto Madryn. A coastal city in Argentine Patagonia that serves as the gateway to Peninsula Valdés. Founded by Welsh settlers in 1865, it now plays a crucial role in marine wildlife tourism. Between June and December, southern right whales approach remarkably close to its shores. These marine mammals, reaching lengths of 15 meters and weights of 47 tons, use the protected waters of Golfo Nuevo for breeding. The shoreline consists of beaches with fine sand and crystal clear waters, though temperatures rarely exceed 18 degrees Celsius, even in summer. The city's economy was transformed in 1974 with the installation of Aluar, South America's largest aluminum plant, visible from most points along the coast. The deep waters of its natural port make it a frequent stop for Antarctic cruise ships. From Puerto Madryn, daily excursions depart to observe elephant seals, sea lions, and Magellanic penguins. The surrounding plateau is typical of Patagonian landscape, arid and windswept, with sparse vegetation adapted to minimal rainfall. This creates a stark contrast with the rich marine ecosystem offshore. Villa La Angostura, a mountain village located in Argentina's Patagonia, nestled between Lake Nahuel Huapi and Lake Corontoso. The town sits at an elevation of 790 meters above sea level, surrounded by the Andes Mountains. Its name means the narrowing, referring to the natural isthmus between the two lakes. The surrounding landscape belongs to the Valdivian temperate rainforest, characterized by ancient coihue and arayan trees. The arayans are particularly notable for their cinnamon-colored bark and twisted trunks, some reaching ages of 650 years. The area is part of Nahuel Huapi National Park, Argentina's oldest national park. Nearby Mount Bayo serves as a ski resort during winter months, with 200 hectares of skiable terrain. In 2011, the eruption of Puyehue volcano in Chile covered the town in volcanic ash, significantly affecting tourism and local agriculture. The town has since recovered, developing into a popular destination for hiking and water sports. Los Arayanes National Park, accessible only by foot or boat, contains one of the world's last pure Arayan forests. Ushuaia, the world's southernmost city, located on the shores of the Beagle Channel in Tierra del Fuego. The city sits at the foot of the Marshall Mountains, which reach heights of 1,500 meters and are covered in snow for much of the year. Originally inhabited by the Yagan people, who developed unique adaptations to survive the harsh climate, including coating their bodies with seal fat for insulation. The modern city began as a penal colony in 1902, with prisoners forced to build much of its early infrastructure, including Argentina's southernmost railway. The infamous prison, now a museum, operated until 1947. The port serves as the main departure point for Antarctic expeditions, earning it the title Gateway to Antarctica. From here, ships navigate the Drake Passage to reach the White Continent, a journey of about 1,000 kilometers. The waters of the Beagle Channel host diverse marine life, including southern sea lions, Magellanic penguins, and imperial cormorants. The channel itself was named after Charles Darwin's expedition ship, which explored these waters in 1833. Laguna Esmeralda. A glacial lake located 20 kilometers from Ushuaia, known for its striking emerald green color. The distinctive hue comes from rock flour, microscopic particles created by glacial erosion that remain suspended in the water. The lake sits at an altitude of 875 meters above sea level, nestled in a valley surrounded by the Fuegian Andes. The journey to reach it involves a 4-kilometer trail through different ecosystems. It starts in a lenga forest, crosses peat bogs formed over thousands of years, and ends in the glacial valley. These peat bogs, locally called turbales, act as natural water filters and carbon storage systems. They're composed of sphagnum moss that accumulates and decomposes very slowly due to the cold climate. The lake is fed by meltwater from the nearby hidden glacier, which remains frozen year-round. During winter months, from June to September, the lake's surface often freezes completely. The surrounding mountain traps winds, creating a microclimate where snow can fall even in summer. El Chaltén. A village in Santa Cruz Province, situated at the foot of Mount Fitzroy in Los Glaciares National Park. Founded in 1985, it's Argentina's youngest town, created to establish sovereignty during a border dispute with Chile. The name comes from the Tehuelche word for smoking mountain, referring to clouds that frequently crown Fitzroy's Peak. At 3,405 meters, Fitzroy's sheer granite walls presented one of the world's most challenging climbs. The mountain was first successfully ascended in 1952 by French alpinists Lionel Terray and Guido Magnone. The surrounding area contains 200 kilometers of marked hiking trails, leading to viewpoints of glaciers, lakes, and peaks. The most famous trail ends at Laguna de los Tres, offering the closest view of Fitzroy's imposing face. The town experiences extreme weather durations, with winds reaching speeds of 100 kilometers per hour. During summer, daylight extends to 17 hours, creating unique photography conditions during sunrise and sunset. The nearby Torre Glacier feeds several turquoise lakes through underground channels. Aconcagua. The highest peak in both the western and southern hemispheres, reaching 6,962 meters above sea level. Located in Mendoza Province, it's part of the principal cordillera of the Andes. Unlike most high mountains, Aconcagua isn't a volcano, but was formed by the uplift of the Earth's crust during the formation of the Andes. The mountain has two base camps, Plaza de Mulas at 4,300 meters on the normal route, and Plaza Argentina at 4,200 meters on the Polish route. The normal route doesn't require technical climbing, but the extreme altitude and unpredictable weather make it dangerous. Temperatures can drop to minus 30 degrees Celsius, and winds often exceed 120 kilometers per hour. Above 5,500 meters, lies the death zone, where the lack of oxygen makes it impossible for the human body to adapt. The mountain's south face presents a 3,000-meter wall, one of the largest in the world. This face was first climbed in 1954 by a French expedition. Ancient Incas ventured here, as evidenced by the discovery of a mummy at 5,300 meters in 1985. Lake Lácar. A glacial lake in Argentina's Neuquén province, stretching 22 kilometers through the Andes. Formed during the last ice age, when massive glaciers carved deep valleys in the mountains. The lake sits at 630 meters above sea level and reaches depths of 277 meters. Its waters drain into the Pacific Ocean through a series of connected lakes and rivers, making it one of the few Argentina lakes that don't flow to the Atlantic. The city of San Martín de los Andes sits on its eastern shore, surrounded by the Lanín National Park. The lake's shoreline alternates between steep rocky cliffs and beaches of volcanic sand. Dense forests of coihue and cypress trees cover the surrounding mountains, changing color dramatically during autumn. The native Mapuche people called it Lácar, meaning flooded place or dead water, referring to its usually calm surface. The lake experiences a unique microclimate, protected from strong Patagonian winds by mountain ranges. This creates ideal conditions for water sports, particularly kayaking and sailing. The water temperature remains cold year-round, averaging 12 degrees Celsius due to its glacial origin and depth. Tigre. A delta city located 30 kilometers north of Buenos Aires, where the Paraná River meets the Rio de la Plata. The delta contains over 350 streams and rivers, creating a maze of islands that cover 14,000 square kilometers. The name originates from the jaguars, called tigers by early settlers, that once inhabited the region. The islands are constantly growing as the rivers deposit sediment, adding new land each year. Unlike most deltas, this one flows into a freshwater estuary rather than the sea. The island's soil is extremely fertile, leading to dense vegetation and successful fruit production. Traditional houses on the islands are built on stilts to protect against frequent flooding. The only transportation between islands is by boat, with water taxis called lanchas colectivas serving as public transport. A complex network of channels called arroyos divides the territory into thousands of islands. Many historic rowing clubs line the mainland shore, dating back to European immigrants in the 1800s. Nahuel Huapi National Park. Argentina's oldest national park, established in 1934, spanning 7,050 square kilometers in northern Patagonia. The park is dominated by Lake Nahuel Huapi, a glacial lake covering 557 square kilometers, with depths reaching 464 meters. 7 branches of the lake extend like fingers between mountains, creating distinct microclimates. The name comes from the Mapuche language, meaning Jaguar Island, referring to the large island in the lake center. The park contains 4 distinct ecological zones: Andean Patagonian Forest, Patagonian Steppe, High Andean, and Valdivian Rainforest. Tronador Mountain, an extinct volcano reaching 3,491 meters, marks the border with Chile. Its name, meaning thunderer, comes from the sound of falling glacial ice. The park features over 60 glacial lakes and 12 major glaciers. A unique feature is the Black Glacier, darkened by volcanic ash deposits. The Arellanes Forest on Peninsula Valdés contains thousand-year-old specimens of these cinnamon-barked trees, one of only 2 pure Arellanes forests in the world. The area experiences extreme weather variations, receiving up to 4,000 millimeters of annual rainfall in the west, while the eastern section remains semi-arid. El Calafate, a town in Santa Cruz Province, serving as the gateway to Los Glaciares National Park. Named after a native berry that, according to legend, once eaten, guarantees your return to Patagonia. The town sits on the southern shore of Lake Argentino, at 185 meters above sea level. It's primarily known for its proximity to the Perito Moreno Glacier, located 80 kilometers away. The glacier is one of 48 major glaciers fed by the southern Patagonian ice field. The town experiences a cold, semi-arid climate, with strong winds reaching speeds of 100 kilometers per hour. During summer, daylight extends to 17 hours, creating extended viewing periods of the glaciers. Lake Argentino, the largest freshwater lake in Argentina, covers 1,466 square kilometers and reaches depths of 500 meters. Its characteristic milky blue color comes from suspended glacial sediment. The area was once home to massive ground sloths, evidenced by fossils found in nearby caves. The town has grown from 3,000 inhabitants in 1990 to over 20,000 today, driven by glacier tourism. Posadas. The capital of Misiones Province, positioned on the Paraná River, which forms a natural border with Paraguay. The city sits across from the Paraguayan city of Encarnacion, connected by the San Roque González de Santa Cruz Bridge, spanning 2.5 kilometers. Located in a subtropical zone, it experiences some of Argentina's highest temperatures, regularly exceeding 40 degrees Celsius. The surrounding area contains distinctive red soil, rich in iron oxide, which supports the region's yerba mate plantations. The city's riverfront underwent a major transformation with the construction of the Costanera, a 4-kilometer waterfront promenade. This project was necessitated by rising water levels caused by the Yacyretá Dam, completed in 2011. The dam's reservoir raised the river's level by 12 meters, dramatically changing the city's relationship with the water. The region's ecosystem is classified as Atlantic forest, one of the world's most endangered tropical forests. The city serves as a gateway to the Jesuit missions of the Guaranis, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The local climate creates a unique phenomenon known as red rain, when rain combines with the oil-rich soil suspended in the air. Buenos Aires. The capital and largest city of Argentina, situated on the western shore of the Rio de la Plata estuary. Originally founded twice, in 1536 and 1580, the city covers 203 square kilometers, with a metropolitan area extending to 2,681 square kilometers. The city grid follows Spanish colonial guidelines, with most streets meeting at perfect right angles. Modern Buenos Aires contains 48 distinct neighborhoods, or barrios, each with unique characteristics. The widest avenue, 9 de Julio, spans 140 meters across 16 lanes. Underneath runs Line B of South America's oldest metro system, opened in 1913. The port area, Puerto Madryn, was completely rebuilt in the 1990s, converting Victorian-era warehouses into upscale restaurants and offices. La Boca, with its colorful houses, reveals the city's immigrant history. The buildings were painted with leftover ship paint by Italian dock workers. The city sits on the Pampas lowlands, with an average elevation of 25 meters above sea level. A network of underground streams, now contained in tunnels, flows beneath the streets. Iguazú Falls. A system of 275 waterfalls stretching across 2.7 kilometers of the Iguazú River, marking the border between Argentina and Brazil. The falls formed roughly 150 million years ago, when a volcanic eruption created a massive crack in the earth. The height of the falls varies between 60 and 82 meters, with the Devil's Throat being the highest and most powerful section, where 14 falls combine. The name comes from the Guarani words "I" meaning water and "Guazú" meaning big. Half of the river's flow falls into a narrow chasm called Devil's Throat, creating a permanent cloud of mist visible from 10 kilometers away. The fall's flow rate varies dramatically, from 1,500 cubic meters per second in drought to 13,000 during floods. The surrounding national park contains 2,000 species of plants and 400 bird species. The distinctive U-shape of the falls was created by water eroding the softer rock underneath harder basalt. A unique phenomenon occurs during full moons, when moonbows form in the mist. The spray from the falls supports a specialized ecosystem of water-loving plants and animals. Patagonia. A vast region covering the southern third of Argentina, spanning over 1 million square kilometers. Characterized by two distinct geographical features, the Andes Mountains in the west and arid steppes in the east. The eastern coastline stretches 3,000 kilometers along the Atlantic, home to significant marine wildlife, including southern right whales, elephant seals, and Magellanic penguins. The region was shaped by the Andean ice sheet during the last ice age, creating deep glacial valleys and hundreds of lakes. Strong westerly winds, known as los robles, blow consistently across the steppes, reaching speeds of 120 kilometers per hour. These winds create distinctive cloud formations and cause trees to grow horizontally. The Patagonian Desert the largest in America, covers 670,000 square kilometers. Despite its size, it receives only 200 millimeters of rainfall annually. The region sits on one of the world's largest freshwater reservoirs, the Guarani Aquifer. The southern Patagonian ice field covers 12,500 square kilometers, feeding 47 major glaciers. Unique wildlife has adapted to these extreme conditions, including guanacos, rheas, and Andean condors with wingspans reaching 3.3 meters. Ancient human settlements date back 13,000 years, evidenced by cave paintings in places like Cueva de las Manos. Now that we've journeyed through Argentina's breathtaking landscapes, I'm curious, which corner of this magnificent country captured your imagination? Would you dance tango in Buenos Aires, trek the peaks of Fitz Roy, or watch whales breach in Peninsula Valdés? If you enjoyed exploring Argentina's natural wonders and cultural treasures with me, don't forget to subscribe for more adventures through South America's most spectacular destinations. Until next time, buen viaje, and I'll see you in the next video.